All right. Well, welcome to tonight's call. Kacie and I are both excited to share with you tonight and just kind of give an idea of what family life is like here on our team and just talk a little bit through Kacie's story and a little bit about how we deal with objections that I'm sure we all have and you will get if you become a coach. So go ahead, Kacie.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to start out with my coaching story. And I jotted a few notes down because, sometimes I get sidetracked. So if I look down, that's why. So my story, I was a high school athlete, like 4-sport athlete. I was involved in everything. I had an insanely great metabolism. And with that also came working out for fun every day after school because of athletics. I ate like my mom's home cooked meals all the time, didn't ever gain a single pound. I mean, I was tiny in high school. So I never really had to think about eating or working out because it all just came so naturally, I guess. I was blessed and lucky to have that in high school. And so I never thought about that. And so when I went to college my freshman year, I had a very, very rude awakening. I would say my first 2 years of college, I gained around 20 pounds. And I think that has to do with like the dining center. Even though I had home cooked meals before, like the dining center probably doesn't always use the best ingredients. And it sneaks up on you. So I had the dining center where I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, like a buffet. I didn't work out very consistently because I refused to go to the gym unless someone went with me. And in college, well, in life in general, how hard is it to always line up to go to the gym with someone because you have such different schedules? So the gym rarely happened. And I refused to go without anybody because it was a scary place. I went to a college that had now it has 40,000 students. At the time it was 36,000. And I had never really gone to the gym before. And so I walked in and it was just machines everywhere and these big buff guys pumping iron and screaming in the background. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not doing this on my own. So I didn't go to the gym. I ate like crap and I drank a lot, which I like to say too, I don't regret anything I really did in college because I loved my college experience. But that did lead to me having to deal with the consequences of living such a do whatever I want lifestyle. So I left college 20 pounds heavier than when I started, which, I mean, I was a smaller person, so it doesn't seem like a lot, but to me it was just mortifying. I remember thinking I'm walking and my thighs are rubbing, my stomach's jiggling, and I've never felt that before. Just because, like I said, I was so active and I'm just lucky in high school that I didn't have to. So my confidence just plummeted. I really kind of just was living life as this person that I was I've never seen this person before. And I was just very self-conscious, which if you know me now, that's not me anymore, which we'll get to. But so after I graduated college, I moved to Minnesota where I met Ashley, thankfully. But at my first year teaching, I gained another 10 to 15 pounds because I don't know how many of you watching this are teachers, or really just your first year in the workforce is really hard. You lose yourself because you are not used to this. You're stressed out, so you're spending more time focusing on your career rather than focusing on yourself. So I poured my heart and soul into my students every single day, and I spent countless hours teaching and developing curriculum and everything like that. And on top of that, I was a junior high basketball coach, which the season lasts from November to February. So I was really, truly, I wasn't giving myself any time. I was not pouring into myself. And I could feel that, and I was slowly becoming just more and more drained, and not necessarily tired drained. I mean, that came along with it, but just more of I don't know who I am anymore. This is weird, and it's kind of a weird feeling, but if you've been there, you know how that is. And I knew that I needed to do something about it. but I didn't know what to do. So during my first year, well, I guess it was really the year before my first year teaching, I tried a Beachbody program. I tried the 21-day fix, which most people have done before because it's like really good program. At the time, I didn't think it was a really good program though, because I started it 5 or 6 times and never ever completed it. Not once. I got like a week in, couple days in, quit. And so I had Beachbody on Demand for an entire year, and I probably used it 5 times, the 5 times I tried to do 21-day fix. So I had tried Beachbody before, but in December of 2017 is when I was really just like, I need to do something. And I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw, I don't know if I followed Beachbody or what it was, but I saw that they were having this new like 80-day program. And don't ask me why I thought it was a good idea, because I was like, now I'm looking back, like I couldn't finish 21 days, but for some reason I thought 80 was a really good idea. So one night we were eating at the Mexican restaurant in town, and I was with my friend, my teacher friend, Hannah, and I just kind of randomly brought it up and I said, hey, I saw this, we should try it. And she's like, oh yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And I'm like, I have Beachbody on Demand, but I don't know when it expires because I got it, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I have a coach. Do you have a coach? And I'm like, no, I don't have a coach. And she's like, oh, well, I have a coach. I can hook you guys up. She's really nice. She's like going on and on about how great her coach is. And I was just like, okay, I guess I never really thought about having a coach before. And I guess the rest of that is history. I jumped on the 80-day obsession train. I bought one of the biggest challenge packs because I think I told Ashley, like, if I just need to go all in. If I don't go all in, I'm just going to peter off like I did the last 5 times. So I got Shakeology, I got Recover, I got Energize, I got a coach. And I think that right there, those 4 things that I just said, well, really the supplements or the shakes and everything and the coach was the biggest part for me, because I invested myself completely and I had somebody else that knew I invested myself completely. So I couldn't really hide from it. So I completed 80-day obsession. I'm really unsure how many pounds I lost, because I don't think it was many. I know within a year I only lost like 5, but the biggest thing for me was I went from like a size 12 in jeans to a size 8 just from 80-day obsession. And I worked my tail off and I was so proud of myself. So when I completed it, I was like, well, this is amazing. And it started with me kind of just wanting to share this amazing thing that I had discovered with people that I knew, because I knew that there was people like me who were struggling to find something or find a way to find themselves again, I guess. And so I kind of talked to Ashley, and I think I caught her by surprise, because I am not the person that posts in challenge groups at all. Ashley's like, no, not at all. I never posted. I think sometimes Ashley was curious and wondering if I actually was even working out. But I was, obviously. So I was like, I need to share this. So I contacted Ashley. I said, I think I want to become a coach. She probably fell off her chair when she got that message, but I met with her and I decided that I just was going to jump in and do it. And so I started in May, really, of last year, really going hard at it. And I quickly saw the financial benefits of this business too. And I know that sometimes is taboo and we don't like to talk about money because it's icky. But let's be honest. I mean, it's nice. It's an extra income as a teacher, or really anything. If you have something like, I know a couple of girls in here said that they use it because they want to send their kids to private school and they need that extra income. We all have financial goals, and sometimes we just needed a little bit extra to get us there. And so that's what it was for me. And so my goals really as a coach have shifted so much, and they're big and they're scary. And I mean, eventually when I started this business, I never ever thought I would be saying this, but eventually I would really like it if I could stay at home with my kids, and have Beachbody be my full full-time job, part-time job, but full-time income, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so I never ever thought that I would say that, and I never ever thought it was possible until I've seen what really is possible, which is, I mean, it's crazy once you start really digging into it, how great this business is financially. But when I joined as a coach, I hit the ground running. It's actually, I was writing all this stuff down, and just kind of like some stats about my coaching career. And last July, I helped, 9 people because I hit Success Club 18. So if you know what Success Club is, so that's equivalent to helping about 9 people. So I helped about 9 people in my 3rd month of coaching, which is amazing. And so I hit Emerald pretty quickly. I'm like within a month or 2 of joining, and then, if you know what Emerald is, and then I actually just hit Lifetime Diamond last week, which is really exciting too. But yeah, that's basically my coaching story. I have used my income to pay for very random assortment of things. One month I was so close to being able to pay my whole entire mortgage with my coaching income for the month. So the possibilities are really endless, but it's been super helpful for my fiance. Still sounds weird. My fiance and I to afford things that we maybe necessarily couldn't, because we have a lot on our plate right now and a lot more to come. So got to keep working that business. But yeah, that's basically my coach story. I don't think I have anything else about my coach story, but I did write down a few reasons why I think that coaching is so important. Like, being a challenger is a great thing, and we love challengers, but being a coach really put me over the edge as far as like working on myself. And I think that's huge. Like I just was talking about money, which is great. But the other thing is that I have consistently stuck with this for over a year. And I never thought that that was possible because, like I said, in college, I was so like a roller coaster, and I never ever knew what to do before. And so this is just something that I have found. And I think the biggest thing for me is just the accountability and finding like people that you connect with and that are going to push you and hold you accountable. Like, for example, lately I have been super busy with personal life things, and I've been struggling to get my workout in every day consistently. I'm on a week straight now. But like just having accountability groups and having I have a Snapchat pod. And so every day we Snapchat each other our sweaty selfies. And Kacie reminds me every day almost that the most important thing that you need to do is get your workout in, because that is something that you can control. And so that's been something I've been working on this past week. And I wouldn't have that if I didn't have this, because I would be on my own, and I obviously don't do well on my own. But I just think that's great. And so I found something that I could see results, which I think was also huge, because I saw results right away. And I've continued to see results, because I know I said during my 80-day obsession, I went from a size 12 to a size 8. Well, now I'm in a size 4. So in 80 days, I went from a 12 to an 8. And in the course of a year now, I'm down to a size 4. And that's kind of how I measure I don't look at the scale. And so that's just how in my mind, I keep track of that. But I just can't speak enough about how amazing this has all been as far as personal growth and financial growth and everything else in between. And I don't know, Ashley, do you want me to share a couple obstacles that I've overcome? Okay, so I wrote down 2 in particular that really stood out to me. And the first one, I had a big problem. I'm from a really small town. Really small town. I'm a really small school district I graduated from, and everyone knows everything about everyone, and you cannot do anything without being judged for it, whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. And so that was really hard for me at the beginning. I was so self-conscious and so nervous, and always in the back of my head before I would click post or before I would share my story or before I would do anything, I would always think, well, what is so-and-so going to think? They're going to be talking about me this weekend. What are they going to do? And I honestly wish I could tell you how I overcame that. But to really be completely honest, I just stopped caring. I just realized that what I had to share was so much bigger than their thoughts and anything. And I mean, for example, I think this story is hilarious. I went home for Easter this year, and I can't even remember what we were talking about. We were talking about Instagram, and someone made the comment about, oh yeah, Kacie, you and your crop top sports bras. And I'm like, yeah, I like my crop top sports bras. What about them? And so they were kind of like poking fun at the fact that I post pictures in my crop top sports bras. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? At least I'm confident, and I'm using that crop top sports bra to share something amazing with people. And so obviously it's getting the word out there if people are talking about them, right? So I guess it's a success in my brain. If they're talking about me at the bar on the weekends about my crop top sports bras, they're obviously all seeing my post. So I guess I didn't read a book. I know Ashley suggested a book, and I never got to. I can't remember what it was. I think it was Get Over Your Damn Self or something like that. I don't know. And that was on my list to read. But honestly, just in my own head, I somehow got control of that and just decided to stop caring. And really, truly, it doesn't matter what people think, because like I said, and what's that? I don't know what that quote is, but people are going to be talking about you because they, people are not going to be talking about you if they're doing better than you. Okay. So there's something that they see that they're like, oh, that causes them to do that. And that's fine. And you know what? I'm still their friend, and I still give them all the support in the world. And some of them are customers underneath me, which is even funnier. So you just got to provide support because they need something. So the other couple things, number one, I just want to say my biggest reservation for not being a Beachbody coach or joining Beachbody was because I thought it was like drinking the Kool-Aid. And it was like, all these people are doing it. And people, I don't know what's really going on. It's almost like a cult. Like all these girls doing this weird workouts together. No, okay, cult's probably a bad word, but you know what I mean? It was just like everyone was doing this, and it's like, why are you all doing this? So kind of more or less like the pyramid scheme type of thought. Like we see all these companies that do it, and it's like, well, no kidding, because I don't know. Just in my mind, I was like, I just had this negative view of Beachbody. And it wasn't until I really got into it to see why people were drinking the Kool-Aid. And the other reason the other obstacle I have overcome is the time. You don't have time to do anything in your life. And I'm still, to be completely honest, I'm still working on this one because I still do struggle with trying to find time to do things and making excuses of I don't have time. But honestly, towards like the end of the school year, I'm a full-time teacher. And so I still go to school and pour my heart out to all my kids, and I come home and it's almost refreshing to have something else to do that you talk to adults, number one. And number two, it's really fulfilling to see people succeed. And so if you want that to be a priority, I love working this business, and so I make it a priority. And I say this right now when I haven't been making it the biggest priority. But if you want something, you will make it a priority, whether that's this business or working out or anything. And so sometimes you fall off the wagon and you're like making these excuses. And then like right now, it's a good reminder for me that if I want it to happen, I will make it happen. And you do have time in your day. You just have to sit down and find it. So I guess that's the 2-3 obstacles that I could think of. And maybe they're not your typical obstacles, but those were, in my business, those were 2 really big obstacles that I felt that I overcame. And yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks for sharing. I think just that, kind of picking off of that, just time. I mean, we all are going to have obstacles that we have to overcome, no matter what job, no matter what hobby or anything like that we have. I mean, we have to overcome things. And a lot of it is about mindset. And so the same thing when we talk about objections is that it's a mindset shift, really. And that, like you talked about, Kacie talked about the time thing. It's like everybody really probably can find 30 minutes to work out a day. it's a mindset shift. It's about figuring out where I'm going to find that 30 minutes. And the same thing with like, I don't have time to work my business. Like you can do it in blocks. I know some coaches like work 30 minutes a day, and some coaches work like 2 hours, like 2 days a week. You know, like you can, there's no set rules of like what you have to do.
Well, and, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I catch myself all the time. Like if time is the issue, I catch myself all the time sitting on my couch, scrolling through social media. Yeah. I still do that. Like and then I stop myself like, what am I doing? I have things that I could be doing. And so I think it's just like, I don't know. I think some people have timers on their phones, or you can figure out how much time you spend on social media. But just imagine like using that time for something else besides scrolling through social media. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think like you heard Kacie share, and last week Kacie shared, we have 2 Kacies, and that's really confusing for all of us, but it's that everybody's going to have objections, and every customer you're going to talk to is going to have some kind of objection in their mind. Like there's going to be a price. It's not the right time. It's not the like whatever. And so the first thing you kind of have to do is take that pressure off of yourself. And I try to tell our team here this a lot, is that when someone says no to joining your boot camp, they're not necessarily saying no like, oh, you're a bad coach, Ashley. They're saying, no, I don't want to join your boot camp. Like it's not a personal attack. And that's kind of like, KP, you just mentioned like that, caring what people think. And I think that's the thing, is like, we have to get to the point where it's like, yeah, I want people to like me to some extent, but like, I want them to find, like, it's about them, and they might just not be ready. And so it's a point of like putting it onto them. If they say no, that really means it's not right now, and that's okay. They're not like saying, no, I would never join you. You know, and so we have to kind of get to a place and remind ourselves of that. And then the obvious one that we typically deal with is the financial. And I think I've come to the place where I like have, like, if I really do price comparing, really is a lot cheaper than anything else. Like if you're talking about a gym membership, $100 for a whole year is way cheaper than anything else. And then we talk about Shakeology. I was just talking about this with my sister-in-law today. It's like, it's a meal and it's $4.33. Like that's really a lot cheaper than like even grabbing a cup of coffee. It's cheaper than grabbing a cup of coffee at the coffee shop. That's not a meal and not good for you. So, and don't get me wrong, I love my coffee, but we use, you know, the expense thing a lot. And so, I think it's just about having belief in something. Like I talk about Shakeology a lot because I really attribute that to my personal success. I worked out before, so that wasn't me. I was the nutrition side of things. And I honestly didn't do the containers, didn't do anything else for the first like 6 months. I literally the only thing I did was substitute lunch for Shakeology, or Shakeology for my lunch. And I lost 30 pounds. Like that was the change for me. And because I think after time, I wasn't craving snacks because I got my chocolatey yummy shake and all that kind of stuff. And so I like to hit on the Shakeology part, but I think that's the thing, is that no matter what you do in this business, people are going to have objections. It's just like anything you try to do in life, you know, and people are going to be scared. And I think I told this to the team the other day, is like a lot of people's objections or rude things that they might say to you come from a place of being hurt and broken themselves. And it's not really about you so much as it's about them and them not being ready, or them feeling like they're comparing themselves to something. And so they really do. You just said that in the chat pot, they need us. And so we have to overcome that so that we can help more people. And yeah, that's just, I mean, we could talk all day about different objections, but the true thing is probably everybody has some kind of objection, you know, to anything in life that we're going to join. And really it's about getting ourselves in the mindset and pouring into ourselves. And so Kacie talked about not skipping her workout. And the second thing that I would say is not skipping your personal development. If there's any a time where a coach is really struggling, I always ask, like, what have you been doing for personal development? And it's usually at a point where they haven't been doing personal development. And that's where the struggles come pouring in. We need to build up our mind and do that. So that's what we have. We hope you consider joining us and get to join us on our time in the summers or every Wednesday night. We love our family time. So thanks for listening in. Next week, we're going to have some other people share about their coach story, and then we're going to talk about the different levels of coaching. So because it looks differently for everybody. And so I don't want you to say like, oh, Kacie does that. And that doesn't mean that's what it looks like for everybody. It's literally like, it could be your hobby, and that can be what it can be for you. So it looks differently. So we're excited about to share that. So thanks for tuning in, and let me stop recording.